Welcome to the Ask Faleskini podcast with a guest. I'm proud to present Tere Foster from Florida. Tere is a coach, visionary, book author, speaker, and mentor. Tere, please tell us more about yourself. What is your story?
Well, let me just say right away, my name is Tere, so it kind of rhymes with hooray. And my last name Foster. And I am what I call myself Arc 7 Guru. Arc 7 is a plan for empowering and protecting 7 dimensions of holistic happiness for life on Earth.
Okay, what did you do in life before you became Arc 7 Guru?
I have just been studying and kind of obsessed with this particular topic about sustainable communities, but it's a little different take on just not sustainability, but also relationship sustainability. And so even though we might have sustainable technologies and innovations, we still could have perhaps not have the happiness we're looking for because of the relationships happening in that same community. So I've seen many people have plans for sustainable living, and they almost never include relationships and how to manage the interconnection, autonomy, while also being interdependent. So that's what the book is about.
So you discovered early on that sustainability, as it's presented in a mainstream media, it's all about technology and sustainable living, but nobody is talking about sustainable relationships. So you're addressing sustainable relationships and how to get them in your latest book. Could you elaborate, when mainstream media is talking about sustainable in technology, sustainable living, you are addressing sustainable relationship. Where can people start and how should they go about sustainable relationship? What's your take on that?
Well, it starts from the inside out. We always start with ourselves. And so I teach a certification about it, starting with relationships and then building out from there. So we start with our own relationship with ourselves, and then with our spiritual self, and then going out from there, family, community, humanity. And so I consider that to be 7 dimensions of holistic happiness, 7 dimensions of life on Earth. So in planning for building a community, designing a community, I haven't seen this so far, that they've included ways to support human interaction and happiness, and teaching people how to get along, or teaching people how to stay in their lane, or to allow others to have the privilege of doing their part without having interference. So it's like having domains and not interrupting someone else's domain. Does that make sense?
Yes, I would like to understand how do you achieve that? Well, you said you have a certification. Does every member of the community need to be certified in order to become a member of your community?
Well, in theory, think about this. If 5 people take the certification and know the rules of conduct, or know how to treat people, and 100 people don't, what do you have? You have the same situation you have in any other community. So the training and the thought process, building from the inside out, really has to be everyone involved, every man, woman, and child. So I don't know if that sounds too ambitious, but I really think anyone who wants to be involved in a community has to be certified to be involved. Otherwise, they won't be there intentionally, and they won't see the need for them to their own part in keeping the environment, let's say, how would you say an environment that's polluted emotionally or relationship wise, or a clean, fresh environment for relationships? That's what I try to teach in these, in my certification.
Okay. Is your book and your certification aimed at existing communities, or it's just for communities that will be built up from scratch? Is there any application for existing judges? Is there any initiative for them to read your book, to understand how they could organize their existing society in a way that everyone would benefit? Would they need certification? Could you help them with implementing your 7 dimensions in their existing community?
I think absolutely, because let's say they have 5 dimensions already really well covered. There's gonna be something missing. It's still not going to satisfy all the needs we have as humans. So I think it's very important, yes, that they be certified. It's intimidating for me in a way because they probably know so much more about community and design than I do. I just have this one piece of the puzzle that I feel was given to me spiritually, that I received and wrote the book about. Is just about how to manage relationships within a community and how to make sure that everyone has an important role that they feel is significant, and that those roles are not interrupted by other people, that they can respect and allow people to make a mistake, or just do what they do without involving themselves unless they were asked. So it's probably simple, I think it's very simple. So it's just a matter of people coming willingly and taking that certification and seeing if it makes a difference or not.
Okay.
If
Your approach, is it possible to implement it only top down? So let's say from a governor or from a mayor of the city, or is it working also if the people living there start reading your book and start getting certification? Would that also benefit the society? Or as I mentioned,
I think you're right, the first way. I think definitely the top has to be involved in it, because what would happen if, for example, the children learn all the problems that the parents have, and then the children try to implement solutions, that's not going to work. So in society, sometimes we are seeing leaders and we see all their faults and we try to implement solutions, but really the leaders have to implement those from the inside out. And we can't think that they're going to just do these steps or actions without any understanding of why, or what the goal would be, or how. And I see politicians all the time. I don't want to get political because I'm not political whatsoever, but you see politicians all the time taking steps and stands and saying this or that for a purpose, but it isn't coming from that place inside, and so that's very important if you want anything true to happen, real to happen, different to happen in society. We have to have that willingness to start from inside. Does that make sense?
Yes. You developed your system in the US, and it's a bit US centric system. However, you already implemented one of the communities in Africa. Can you tell us a bit more about your venture in Africa?
Okay, well, I put my certification online and made my book available to the world, and somehow, by a turn of events I can't explain, Rwanda, one man in Rwanda just fell in love with ARC-7, fell in love with me, had to do it, and he ended up bringing in all these people from his university, because he was at university. So we brought in all these people, and so we ended up doing 50 people in 7 universities, so 50 times 7. And that didn't happen anywhere else in the world. It was all online. They're talking to me every day. I'm talking to them, mentoring them, training them. And so it just happened. I think it had something to do with the Google algorithms, but I'm not sure. All I know is that I had all these people just so excited about building ARC-7 in Rwanda that I just said, okay, I go with the flow. If that's where we're gonna build it, I'll go. And I went to Africa and met these hundreds of university students who wanted to meet me and wanted to build ARC-7 with me. That's how it happened.
Okay, so how can people get involved, and how can people get your book? Where to start if they want to make a lasting change in their environment? Where should they start? Where can they get your book? Where can they get certified? Please tell us more about your system.
Okay, so the website is the first place to go, arc7.guru. And so I call myself ARC-7 Guru just because that's what I teach, that's all I know. And so the book is there to download for free. And the reason why I give it for free is because it's very important for that message to get out. And I hope people will share it with everyone, pass it to one person to the next. And then as they read the book, they will see the need for the certification that is very detailed about how to build a community from the inside out. And if they take that certification, it's there at ARC-7.
Thank you. Is there anything else you would like our listeners to take from this interview? Any insight that you can share? Anything that will help them build their community faster?
Well, I've seen quite a big surge of life coaches pouring into the marketplace recently with all these training programs and everything. And I would love to collect these life coaches, get them certified, and perhaps they could be the leaders of this ARC-7 movement towards building communities in each of those leaders' locations. So I can envision that these life coaches wouldn't only be online, but they'd start to make a community in their local area and build their own tribe.
So where should people apply to become ARC-7 certified life coach?
Just right there, arc7.guru, and they get certified, and we'll talk more about them joining the network. And I will. They can see an example of the coaches that have joined us at arc7.network. And they can also see some of the projects we did in Africa by going to arc7.org.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like our listeners to take from this interview?
I'm just anxious to meet people. I love to talk, and this is my favorite subject. So they want to call me, want to have a Zoom call or a coaching call, mentorship. That's what I love to do.
Okay, I will put all the links in the description below where our listeners can reach you. And thank you for being my guest tonight.
Thank you for having me.